Hello, Watchaholics. Welcome back to my channel. Guys, today we are going to be covering the finale of Love is Blind Season 3. Guys, we've made it. We've made it all the way to episode 11. There have been lots of ups and downs in this show this season. I've really enjoyed it so far, but before I want to give my overall opinion, I just want to get into this episode. But before we do, you know the drill. If this is your first time here, guys, and you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and also click a like button if you enjoyed this video. Really helps me out, lets me know if you're enjoying these videos. So let's get into it. Let's get straight into this, because my gosh, I was thrown for a loop. And what I will be doing throughout this episode is I'm also going to be inputting live reactions that I had during each wedding, because I did record myself watching them, because I thought it would be a good idea for you to see those reactions, because there are some good ones. Because boy, were there some shockers in this wedding. But the number one shock of this, the number one thing that was not a shock was the beginning of this episode, which basically starts off with the end of episode 10, which was Nancy and Bartiste's wedding. At this point, Nancy has already said yes, which I was like, oh, come on, Nancy, I really wish you said no. But she said yes, and they asked Bartiste. And not surprisingly, Bartiste said no. And it was extremely awkward. And I'm actually mad because I thought I pressed record on my phone. So I was like, damn it. So I didn't get my reaction to that, but I did give reaction to something else, to the aftermath of it. But it was so awkward. He was just standing there, like literally, he said no. And Nancy was just like, mm-hmm. And they were just awkwardly standing there in silence. And I was like, okay, what, are you going to walk away? Is someone going to say anything? And then he was like, do you want to talk about it here? And she's like, no, no, it's okay. And she like walks out, and her family and her bridesmaids, everyone like runs after her. The mom and the brother are still kind of sitting there, like still kind of a little bit in shock, like what just happened? So they run out, and then Bartiste runs after her. Basically he's like, excuse me, like making people go out of the way. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit upset at Nancy throughout this whole situation, because number one, do not hold his hand when he just said no to you. Do not call him baby when he just said no to you at the aisle. Like, she was acting way too nice, like way too nice for someone who just said no to her. And for someone who was treating her as bad as he was throughout this whole season. Like, did not. I was very upset with Nancy in this moment. But basically, he runs after her. He explains why he said no, which made no sense to me. But like, and I stand by what I said in the last episode, when she gave him those notes, gave him the letter with all of the like little things, and he's like crying in the bathroom, talking about what all these things meant, and how much this woman loves him and he loves her. And I was like, no, this guy is crying because he knows he's gonna say no. He has known he's gonna say no. He's gonna say no for like who knows how long. He did not want to say yes. So yeah, I stand by that. He knew he was gonna say no. But basically, you know, the mom keeps coming in, and Nancy keeps like brushing away her mom. She's like, Mom, no, this is between me and Bartiste. She keeps like brushing her family away. Her family wants to get involved, and she's like, no. And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? Nancy, I would absolutely let my family chew this man out. Just chew him out. I don't want to talk to you. You just said no to me on the altar. Anything you say right now is not justified. I was so angry at Nancy, so angry, and you're about to see it in this reaction that I'm about to play. But basically, you know, the mom and the brother are going back and forth talking, because the younger brother was like, I knew it. I told you guys. I told you that he was not the right guy for her, and no one listened to me. I told you. And the mom's like, you were right. He's like, but I didn't want to be right. I wanted it to be wrong. And basically, you know, the mom and dad are talking it over. But I'm going to play my reaction right over here of this next scene.
Sorry that had to happen like this. I'm sorry it happened in front of everybody, but this is what I signed up for.
I signed up for this. It's more seeing like my family embarrassed. Like, that was my biggest fear when I was asked, what is your biggest fear? I was like, embarrassing Mom, stop.
Why is she Nancy?
I'm not gonna go away. This is your mother. Now you put 100% chance. But did you admit it's not ready for you?
Yes! Yes! Oh my God!
Because you're too much for him.
Yes!
He's
Nancy!
That means because he's not prepared to receive you.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. Would you have rather me say yes today? Knowing what you just said about me being too much, would you rather me get on that altar and say yes to your daughter? There's no way that makes any sense. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? You knew you were gonna say no to this. Why did you let her go all this? Or make
I didn't know I was gonna say no. I had no clue I was gonna say no. You are just
I want to hear something. Give me a
No, it's not about you. No,
Why
it's
would you do
not.
all of this to bring us here?
It's
Why would you do
not.
all this just to bring us here and just say, I know.
I don't owe you any answers, bro. I owe her all the
I'm
answers.
bringing y'all here to waste our motherfucking time for my sister. My only sister.
So yeah, basically he's just telling her, like, the mom, I so agree with Nancy's mom. He was not ready for this woman. He was not ready for Nancy. She is too good of a woman for this guy. I could not take it. I just could not tell. I could not take it. And I was just so annoyed that Nancy just kept telling her family to go away. I was like, what? Oh my God. And then when the brother got involved, oh my God, when the brother got involved. And like, it's valid. It's a valid question. Why did you bring us here knowing that you were going to say no? He's like, oh, I didn't know I was going to say no. Liar. I call BS. I will call it every single day throughout this whole season that was BS. Freaking BS. You knew you were going to say no. You freaking knew. And then you still brought the family. You brought everyone here just to basically embarrass this poor girl. Not that he did it on purpose, that he wanted to embarrass her, which we will get into that later. But like, really? Really? But anyway, she pulls them. They decide they're going to, the mom steps in, Bartiste's mom. And I was like, all right, please go away. You have no right to be. You definitely don't have a right, because I don't think you even liked Nancy. So please get out of here. Anyway, so they go. Nancy and Bartiste finally go off on themselves. They go inside to this place where there's stairs and they're sitting. And this was the only time that Nancy basically finally like put her foot down and was like, "No, like we're done." Because basically Bartiste was like, "Oh, it doesn't have to be over after this. Like we can still like date." Basically, is like what he wanted to say. And Nancy's like, "No, this is very black and white. You clearly said no to me on the altar. So there is no after this. We are done." And then she's like, "I don't even want to wear this bracelet anymore. It means nothing to me. Like, it's wrong." And then she's like, "I don't believe this," whatever. And she like rips it off, whatever. It was such a really interesting premise to begin with. Permanent bracelets, ridiculous. But anyway, she takes it off. And she's like, "There's nothing after this. I said yes and you said no. It's black and white." And yeah, so she walks out, he walks out, and Bartiste to me is just I have no feelings towards this man. I don't feel sad for him. I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel anything. Like, I'm just like, whatever. And then, like, I thought it was so silly. They asked him, like, so, because they always ask the couples even after they've said no, like, so do you think love is blind? And he's just like, oh. He's like, well, I'm still in love with the girl that, like, I fell in love with in pods. I'm like, that's not the answer. Just say love is not blind, because clearly physical attraction and what someone looks like was very, very important to you throughout this whole thing. If it wasn't, then you probably would have married Nancy, but it was clearly a very big thing. So you said no. So you could just be honest. Say no. To me, love is not blind. That's fine. Nancy said love is blindsided. That made me laugh, because she was blindsided. I believe her. Now, she could have picked up on the signs a little bit more, but, because he was still trying to be like, no, we can build through this, blah, blah, blah. She kind of was a little bit blindsided, but, I mean, the signs were kind of there with the way he was talking about Raven in the beginning. Like, it was just wrong. She should have already known, like, this is not right. But anyway, moving on to our next wedding, we've got Alexa and Brennan, and I don't really have much to say. Actually, I feel like I don't really want like the whole beginning of each wedding to me, I honestly fast forwarded through a lot of it because I honestly didn't care about what they had to say because it was pretty much a whole bunch of the same thing. Like, I'm not sure. The only ones that I knew were going to say yes were Alexa and Brennan. I had no doubt in my mind that Brennan was going to say yes. And Netflix, I am talking to you. You lied to us in your preview because in the preview for this episode, they made it seem like Brennan was having second thoughts. There's this clip that they showed where Brennan's like, oh, I'm feeling different today about like the wedding and all this stuff. There's like a clip of him and his parents before walking out where he's just like, oh, I'm so sorry about this, and like made it seem like someone said no. I just want you guys to know that clip was never showed. None of them. It was never shown. It was never heard any of the audio that they were saying. So they placed that there on purpose to give us doubts because they knew that we as an audience were like, oh yeah, they're going to say no. So what do we do? I mean, they're going to say yes. So what can we do to make them like, oh my God, is he going to say no? Let's throw in these like audio clips, which were probably not from what we think they were. And because reality TV will do that. They will place freaking clips on top of things that weren't actually said. They will splice things together to make us think things. So they did good because they got us. And then none of that was even shown. But anyway, you know, Brennan's still very confident about it. Alexa looks gorgeous. Her makeup looks gorgeous. Like, and he looks so good in his tuxedo. I was like, Brennan, sir, you have no right to look this good today. But he's confident, and I was like, there's no way he's saying no. There's absolutely no way. But here's my reaction to their wedding.
Oh my God, Brennan's crying. There is absolute no way he's saying no. If he says no, guys, I am shooketh. He's literally crying. No other man has cried. This man is a treasure. A treasure. Oh, Brennan. Yes, everyone, the dad's crying, the mom's crying, Brennan's crying.
Same sunshine as I usually do. The sun rose, birds chirped, babies cried. And I was late as usual. The most exciting part of this is that we were before our friends and family to declare our love.
These are like actual vows. Like, it's not even like, oh, like, I love you and I'm so excited for our journey. It's like, no, this is like a vow.
Love that. Me.
Before our friends, family, and the world, I pledge my love and my life to you. It is now time to decide if love is blind.
Love is definitely blind for these two. If anyone says no, I will flip this phone. Don't make it dramatic. We know he's gonna say I do.
I do.
Oh my God, he's a treasure.
I do.
Oh, they did it.
I mean, guys, his vows, those were like actual vows. I'm just saying. Everyone else was kind of like, oh, like, this has been a great experience. I love you. I've learned this, blah, blah, blah. No, he literally gave recited vows. The only guy to recite actual vows in the 4 weddings, how many weddings it was Brennan. And for that, I applaud him. They did it. They're married. I never for a second doubted them. So happy for them. Hope they're doing well. So now we're getting to the big one. This is going to be a big topic of conversation because this one shocked me. So we get into Zainab and Cole's wedding. Now, this was one that from the beginning, I had no idea what was going to go down. I was like, I have no idea if someone's going to say yes over someone saying no. I was literally, after the roller coaster of a season they've had, that they've been so down. There was, like I said, there was like one episode with 3 scenes that were up. Everything else has just been down, horrible, just not good, just showing on TV how these people are not a good match together. Like, they are just not meant to be together. But I'm just like, I really have no idea. I couldn't tell if Zainab or Cole were going to say yes. Now, basically, you know, like I was telling before, I didn't really care about watching the beginning of like what they were saying, because most of these couples are all, except for Alex and Brennan, we're all saying the same thing. Like, oh, we've had issues to overcome. I'm not gonna know. This is what gets me, is people saying, oh, I'm not gonna know until I walk up to the aisle and I see the person. I'm like, oh no, you know. Somewhere deep inside, you know what the answer is. So don't tell me, Zainab, that you don't know what you're gonna say, because she knew what she was gonna say. She knew what she was gonna say today, and she played it off like, oh no, I'm gonna wait till I get down the aisle and when I see him I'll know. Liar. I am calling another BS. You knew. You freaking knew. So, I was watching the episode, and as I'm watching it, I really, really thought, she started with a prayer. I was like, oh my God. She's like, this is what me and Cole like really connected with on the pods. I'd like to start with a prayer. They prayed together. It was beautiful. And then they both talked about each other and their experience. And I was like, oh my God, I think Zainab's gonna say yes. I really think she is. And yeah, here's my reaction.
I legit don't know what they're gonna say. I do not know. God, I think they're actually gonna say yes.
I wanted to marry you, and I fell in love with you. You're amazing.
They're definitely saying yes.
I think I have a really good idea about
That's not the question.
you, the way that Cole needs to be loved every day for the rest of your life. And I think you and I both know that that is not me. As much as I have wanted it to be me and have tried to manipulate myself to be that person for you, the last 2 months have not been like picture perfect. You have disrespected me, you have insulted me, you have critiqued me, and for what it is worth, you have single-handedly shattered my self-confidence.
Oh my God!
That you have had that kind of effect on me. And the mess.
Oh my God! She dropped the fucking mic! Yo!
Guys, when I tell you, I was shooketh to the core when she said no, and then proceeded to just chew him out, grab him by, like, shackled him up and dragged him down the aisle, is what she did. That is literally what she did that day. And there's been a lot of kickback on the internet since this was aired. Guys, it was pretty intense. And I have really extreme thoughts about this. I am still like, I can't believe that she did what she did, because she knew she was going to say no. And she deceived me, because the way she started off that ceremony with a prayer. Who starts a ceremony off with a prayer, thanking God for bringing Cole into her life, for thanking all these things, and then you're going to go and say, no, I do not. You have shattered my self-esteem. You've disrespected me. You've done all these horrible things to me. I do not. And then walks out. For the first time this season, well, I guess the second time, because last episode I was starting to see what Cole was talking about, or what Cole was seeing. We are not dismissing the fact that Cole has been an extreme a-hole throughout this whole season, that he does not know what to say. He's just very immature for the age that he is. He's very immature. He just doesn't know how to talk to women. I don't think he means anything maliciously. I don't think he is meaning to tear down this person. I don't think so, but he still did those things. But what she did at that altar was She was like, I'm going to have my drop the mic moment. I'm going to drop my moment. And a lot of people have been saying that she wanted to have her Deep D moment. So for those of you who don't remember, Deep D was from season 2. She was going to marry Shake, who was in a complete a-hole the whole season. Like, and that guy was like an actual a-hole. Like worse than Cole. And still to this day, I still think he's worse than Cole. But she said no to him on the altar and basically was like, I don't deserve this. You don't deserve me, blah, blah, blah. So everyone is saying that she wanted to have that moment, which is why she went up there and did what she did. And the only reason why I know for a fact I'm like 99% sure that the only reason why I know she knew she was going to say no was because that speech was so prepared. She did not stumble a word. She rehearsed that freaking speech in her mirror. I don't know how many days before this wedding, how many times, because it was too well rehearsed. If you really didn't know, there would be some stuttering. There would be some sort of like hesitate. No, she knew. She knew she was going to say no. And for the first time ever, like, I actually felt bad. I felt so bad for Cole up there. He was embarrassed in front of his friends, in front of his family, in front of her friends, in front of her family. It was bad. It was really bad. He was blindsided. Like, I truly believe that he actually was blindsided really, really hard. He had no idea that she felt the way that she did. He had no idea whatsoever. It was absolutely nutso. Just nutso. And there was the one moment that I thought was very sweet was his mom. I mean, not his mom, her mom, or her stepmom came over and to him and said, you know, I'm so sorry that this happened. She went over to him and apologized, and then he was like, I'm sorry, I really didn't mean for this to happen. I never wanted to hurt your daughter, like all this stuff. And I truly believed him. There was not one inkling of me that did not believe that he was blindsided, that he was hurt, and that he was embarrassed. Because I just think about the way Shake reacted when Deep D said no. The guy rejoiced. The guy pretended like everything was fine. The guy was like, oh, it's fine. You know, it is what it is. Like, acted like he did not care. No. You could see it in Cole's face that he cared and that he was very hurt. And that is, again, like I'm saying, I'm not defending Cole 100% because he was an a-hole. He'd said some really bad things, some very not right things that you would ever say to a woman, but he's just immature. And I don't think he is a bad person or a bad guy. He just needs to learn from his mistakes, which I hope he has. But he also didn't deserve what Zainab did to him on that altar because, like I said, she dragged him down that aisle. It kind of reminded me of the scene from Game of Thrones when Cersei is naked walking down the thing and everyone's throwing stuff at her and saying, shame, shame. That's literally what she did to him. And I was shooketh. As you can see in my video, I was shooketh. Anyway, we're moving on to our last couple, which was Colleen and Matt. Another one that I actually went in not really knowing. Because Colleen had already expressed her doubts at this point. She was like, no, I don't know if I would marry you tomorrow in the last episode. She was very, very confused. She says she loves him, but she's like, she's not sure if she should be taking a leap of faith here. And granted, I totally agree. I mean, the guy has had some serious anger issues, serious reactive issues. And I can understand why she didn't know if she was going to say yes or no. So really going into this, like, I actually had no idea either if she was going to say yes or no. And then Matt, you know, kind of expressed the same thing to his, like, dad. And was it to his dad or was it to his mom? I forget. I think it might have been his dad. But he was like, oh, you know, I don't know either. I'm going to, when I see her down the aisle, I'll whatever I feel, I'll know in that moment. And then they show a clip of him, like, talking with his friends, and one of his friends, the main friend that had been talking to him through most of the episodes, was just like, to be honest with you, I don't think you're ready. And I said, thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But anyway, Colleen getting her dress ready. She looks gorgeous. Her dress is beautiful. It was lovely. She looked great. But okay, we get down. They're walking down the aisle, and Matt gets there. He's like really nervous, and then Colleen walks down the aisle, and the guy just starts crying. I was like, oh, he's saying yes. The moment he started crying as hard as he did, it wasn't a crying as to like, oh man, I'm gonna say no. It was a crying of I'm gonna say yes. I knew he was gonna say yes in that moment. But yeah, they asked Colleen, and she, this has actually been the most annoying thing, because everybody, what they've been doing, and when they ask like, is love is blind to you? Do you say yes to this man? The answer is yes or no. But what couples now have been doing, and I don't know, that's probably they tell them to do this. I don't know. What they've been doing now is they go into like a little speech before they give their answer. And I'm like, no, that's not the freaking question. Zainab did the same thing. It was just like, she went on talking about, oh, he's a great whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then she was like, no, I do not. And then went on to, like I said, drag him in the streets. But Colleen did this kind of the same thing. So I was just like, oh, can we just get to the yes or no is the question, is the answer. Yes or no. Yes or no. Oh my gosh. So couples are just dragging this out. And then she goes, Maddie. And I was like, okay, and she said, yes, I do. So she says yes. And then they ask Matt. And I was like, wow, okay. She said yes. So then they asked Matt. And Matt kind of goes a little bit into a little speech. You made me more vulnerable. You opened me up in the pods. And then he says, I do. And now they're married.
Oh my God, I almost forgot to fucking get my reaction to this. But Matt is sobbing. God, I really have no idea who's going to say yes or no in this. This is another one. I might be shocked. I don't know. Because the last one really got me. Honestly, I can't even take these vows seriously anymore. Because some people have given some beautiful vows, and then they're like, I do not. So now I'm just like, all these people have been like, I love you so much. And then they say, I do not. So I don't trust these I love yous. The only I love you I trusted is Brennan's. I can't breathe because I really don't know. I really don't know. My heart is literally beating. Like, beating. I just don't know. Does that mean yes?
Maddie, I do.
Wow, she said I do.
No matter what, I will be there for you. I love you so much.
Oh my God, but is he gonna say no? I don't know. Oh my God, I can't take this. I can't take the suspense.
And the comfort level that you gave me and the natural and just allowing me to become vulnerable again. It speaks volumes. I love you to death. Absolutely, I do. I want to marry you. Absolutely.
Oh, they said I do. Yay, why am I happy? I'm actually crying, bro. I'm like happy. Why am I happy for these people? Matt was a red flag. Why am I crying?
And I cracked it up because he said, holy shit, like 5 times. He kept looking at his hand. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my God, we're married. I was just like, okay, we understand that you're shooketh, that you're married. We understand. And I don't know if you're surprised she said yes because of the way you treated her, or you just can't believe you're married again after the life that you've had. And, Matt, they're all happy. Yay, woohoo. And then they decide at the end of the episode, they basically go and talk to each individual person who said no. And what cracks me up is, like, why do they make them leave in their wedding dresses and their tuxes? Like, why don't they just leave in the clothes that they came in? They make these poor women walk back to their car that's driving them away in their dress that they got rejected in. I'm like, wow, so they don't give them time to, like, clean up or, like, what? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's obviously scripted that way to make it look. I'm pretty sure they just, like, do a take of them doing that and then they go and change into their regular clothes. I mean, I would hope so, because I'm like, why do I have to leave in this freaking dress and now I'm just walking around with the sadness on me? Like, I don't get it. they go into Zay, they're interviewing Zay, like, did you know? And she's like, no, I didn't know. I truly didn't know till I walked down the aisle, blah, blah, blah. I still think that's a lie. And I think she should have just broken up with her before the wedding. I just hope she should have just broken up with him before the wedding. Like, I don't understand why she didn't. And then this brings me to my thoughts about just the show just as in general with the rules probably and the things that they have to sign. I wonder, and I don't know how long the contracts are for people being able to openly talk about their experience without getting in trouble. Because I know when you're on a reality TV show, they usually say like you can't talk about certain things until like 3 years or 2, whatever it is, certain amount of years I think it is, and then you're allowed to openly talk about it. I don't know if it's 1 year, it could be, I don't know, but I've always wanted to know if like they're contracted to make it to the aisle no matter what, and then they say yes or no, or is it like if they wanted to break up before, like, yeah, you can break up, it's fine, or is it contracted like, no, you must make it to the aisle, and on the aisle you say yes or no? Because if that's the case, then that really sucks for people because they kind of have to like drag out the idea that they're gonna say no and then really hurt this person on the day of their wedding because they really have to try to keep them convinced that they're going to say no. I mean, they're going to say yes. So if that's the case, that really sucks. I hope that there is a way that they could just be like, no. Or like, let's say like you just weren't ready to get married. Like you're like, man, I just wish we had more time. Like, why can't you just talk to the person and be like, listen, I really love you, but I just want to take more time. Like, let's date. Let's just both agree to say no, and then let's go and date afterwards. Just do that because it actually works. I feel like it actually works. This has happened in the Bachelor franchise with people who don't get married and then just decide to date after instead. They end up lasting much longer than people who just say, yes, I want to marry you. It's happened so many times in the Bachelor franchise. So, and that is happening right now. We'll get into that when we talk about the reunion in my next episode. But like, I don't know. And then this was something that I realized that I was talking to my friend, we were recapping over text message, and she said, but why did Nancy and Zainab have the same dress? I was like, what? And she sent me a picture, and I was like, huh, they have the same dress. I have no idea why. And then that made me think, like, why don't they wear the wedding dresses that they chose? And I think I talked about it in my last recap about why don't they wear can they go and choose another dress? Like, why did Nancy and Zainab end up wearing the same exact dress? Here, I'll post a picture here. I don't know why they're wearing the same dress. I don't get it. Or here, I forget where I'm going to post it. But yeah, I don't know. I really have no idea. But yeah, so that was the end of season 3 of Love is Blind, guys. That was the end of that episode. We got 2 marriages. We got Alexa and Brendan and Colin and Matt who got married. Everyone else had one person say no. Not surprised by some, surprised by not others. Guys, what did you think of this season? I am so excited to talk about the reunion in my next episode. So watch out for that episode that will be coming out shortly. Yeah, I have so much to say about that reunion. So much to say, so many thoughts. But guys, if you liked this video, please give me a like button. You know why. It really helps me out. Lets me know if you're enjoying these videos. Comment down below if there's another show you'd like me to cover here on my channel. Just because I want to know what shows you guys are interested in me covering more of. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Guys, if you are on my podcast, please don't forget to rate and review. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.